Well, one would think that after a almost 900 point drop on the Dow Jones yesterday, and by a percentage basis, an even larger drop on the NASDAQ, that there would be a bounce today, right? At least something. And that didn't happen. All right. The markets started out in the red. They tried to recover throughout the day with like little mini rallies. I think at one point S&P was green, NASDAQ was green. So the closing data, Dow Jones drops 478 points, S&P drops 42 points, and the NASDAQ drops 32 points. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, the cryptos actually held their own today. They got about between a 5 and an 8% uptick or bounce. Bitcoin was back over 80,000 for you cryptocurrency people. What was interesting to me, the 10-year, although you had the market selling off, you've still got a lot of fear, a lot of panic, a lot of blood in the streets. The 10-year bond yield was up 6 basis points. So people were selling the 10-year for whatever reason. If you guys have any perspective on that, love to hear your thoughts and comments. Gold did really well today. Did sell off a bit yesterday, but it got all that back today so far, and then some. Up about $30 an ounce. Silver, heck of a day, up 80 cents an ounce. As of the time I'm recording this video, retook the $33 an ounce level. So what's going on? What happened? We got a lot of, everything just seems stuck, okay? And it's a mess. We had some news I'll share with you this morning early on. From Delta Airlines. They came out and basically said that we are lowering our guidance because the consumer demand is not there. And we discussed the consumer, the lack of health of the consumer in this country all the time. It's been masked and papered over, if you will, with credit lines and credit card, let's say availability for use of credit card and pay now. Or buy now, pay later plans. But we all know the consumers, a big segment of the consumers in this country simply are tapped out, have no money, right? So talking about air travel. This article of the Zero Hedge, Delta Airlines outlook abruptly darkens on weak consumer, shares hit turbulence. Delta Airlines lowered its sales and earnings expectations for the first quarter. It says citing recent decline in consumer and corporate confidence due to increased macro uncertainty, leading to softness in domestic demand. So that is a fancy way of saying consumers don't have the money. They don't have the ability to put these plane tickets on credit cards anymore because there's no more credit left. Okay. Now, obviously, I am adding that and giving some of my own editorialization. Leave your comments below. We see every day that the consumers continue to get weaker in this country. Delta slashed its first quarter revenue growth forecast to 3 to 4%, and that's well below its initial guidance of 7 to 9%. Okay, it also lowered its adjusted earnings forecast to 30 to 50 cents per share, down from previous 70 cents to $1 per share. So it's basically cut about in half both its revenue growth forecast for the first quarter and its adjusted earnings forecast. Okay, that is not good news. Delta wrote, it says in the filing, premium, international, and loyalty revenue growth trends are consistent with expectations and reflect resilience of Delta's diversified revenue base. What does that sound like to you? Sounds like they're trying to obviously keep their shares from tanking. Well, Delta shares today closed down about 7% on this news. So it was actually when the news first broke last night, shares plunged as much as 13%. And it says adding year-to-date losses for Delta, 17%. Pay attention to this stuff, folks. These are bellwether signs of what's happening. Okay, we all know that people love to take vacations that they can't afford. And some that should not be taking vacations do take those vacations, putting it or amassing, accumulating debt to do so. And I think what you're seeing now is for one of the largest air carriers here in the country, domestic, that this is starting to pull back. So again, we had another negative day on Wall Street. This is out of CNBC article I pulled just after the close. Dow drops more than 450 points. S&P posts back-to-back loss over Trump tariff uncertainty. The S&P, it says, was lower in a head-spinning day for traders as they digested a new tariff proposed by President Trump that were, it says, walked back before the session even ended. The trade policy uncertainty, it says, has brought the benchmark to the brink of a correction, which is defined as a decline, it says, of 10% from its high. The S&P 500 was trading 0.76% lower. At its low of Tuesday's session, the index was 10% below its record close. Dow Jones lost 478 or 1.1%. So earlier in the day, Trump came out and he said that he was going to apply, effective tomorrow, a tariff on Canada. And it was I believe, 50% tariff on steel and aluminum. Okay, he says the president made the move in response to Ontario Premier Doug Ford's surcharge on electricity exported to the United States. Now, later in the day, I've now seen something that they have reversed that course and have decided not to impose those tariffs. So look, we talk about the markets don't like uncertainty, and this back and forth. Again, I haven't seen anything that gives an explanation for why Trump reversed that. I believe there was something that on the Canada side that they agreed not to impose that surcharge, and so Trump kind of walked back his position. But look, we've got a lot of messy stuff happening. We know the layoffs are accelerating in this country, and they're going to start hitting hard from the government sector. If you guys are in the government sector, please let me know your thoughts and leave your comments. What are you experiencing? Have you suffered a loss of a job, or do you know someone, family, friend that has lost a job in the government sector? So obviously, I'm in the private sector, small business owner. And so I'd love to hear your feedback and comments. But guys, we are not out of the woods yet. I say we, meaning this all trickles down. When you have billions of dollars and potentially trillions of dollars being wiped off of the stock market, these are the people that have the money to be investing in the markets in the first place. And they're the ones that spend money in the economy, not on debt, but real money in the economy. Okay, they're also the ones that employ people. So, just you say, well, I'm not in the market, this doesn't pertain to me, I don't care, or why should I care? You should care. We need to be paying attention and keeping track of what's happening here. Again, I would have expected a bit of a bounce today. It did not happen. Let's see if there's further follow through on selling tomorrow. But when you get negative guidance and negative news coming out, I believe CPI report comes out tomorrow morning. I wouldn't be surprised to see that have come down. Okay, so maybe that'll be silver lining for the markets to catch a bit of a headwind tomorrow. We will see. Hope you guys are hedged, on the downside risk side, in whatever asset class you are investing in. Thanks again. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Don't forget, get those steps in today. Get that workout in. We got to stay healthy, okay? Especially under stress. The mind, again, not a doctor, but the mind performs better and is able to cope with stress, whatever that stress may be. Economic stress on your family, issues relating to health conditions, to deal better with that, when you're trying to get some exercise in and trying to watch that diet. So lay person here, that's all I'm talking about. Be leaving in about an hour and a half to get my workout in. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.